So today we're going to be looking at how to classify slope and how to determine if a slope is positive, negative, zero, or undefined. And when looking at a graph of a line, the part shaded in blue, this is our graph. This represents our line, and later we'll learn this represents our equation. And the other parts of our graph, we have a y-axis and an x-axis. But to determine slope, you're going to look at that graph of that line. And the different options for slope, we have positive slope, negative slope, an undefined slope, or a zero slope. And when you're reading a graph, it's important to remember that we are going to be reading from left to right. So we want to make sure as we're looking at this line, we look from left to right at the direction of that line. And if you picture yourself as being in a car traveling on this line, so here is my car. If we're traveling along this line, this is going to be uphill. If I'm going left to right, I'm traveling up this line uphill. So this would be a positive slope. We are increasing or going higher on this line. So this would be a positive slope, going from left to right, car going uphill. The next example on this one, again, looking left to right. So picture your car. If we are traveling along this one, along this line, we are driving flat. We're not going up, we're not going down, we're just driving straight across. We're going flat. This is what we would consider a zero slope. It's neither up nor down. So if you picture your car, you're going straight, not up or down. This would be a zero slope. Next example, if you are on this line, again, going from left to right, so if we picture our car over here, going from left to right, this one, we would actually be driving downhill. We're traveling down this hill, closer to where it's flat. So if you picture yourself, if you've ever driven up or down a hill, driving down a hill, the elevation is decreasing. This one is what we'd consider a negative slope. We're going downhill. So just picture yourself in that car going downhill. And the last example of an undefined slope, if you picture yourself in this car, this would be quite scary. Traveling this steep of a drive, going straight down, this would be an undefined slope. It would be terrifying and disastrous to be going down steep like this. This would be undefined for a slope. So let's look at a few examples of classifying slope. So on each slide, I'm going to have you think about what slope this would be. So if you picture yourself on this car going up or down, a nice flat drive or a disastrous drive, how would you classify this? Positive, negative, undefined, or zero? This one would be a positive slope. You're going uphill on a nice uphill drive. What about this example? How would you classify this slope? If you are in your car, would it be a positive, negative, or undefined slope? This one would be negative. It's a nice downhill drive. This would be a little bit steep, but still not straight down. So this would still fall under a negative slope. What about the graph for this line? Going straight across. Positive, negative, undefined, or zero. How would you explain this if you're picturing yourself in a car? This one would be a 0 slope. If you picture your car on here, a nice flat drive, this would be neither up nor down, neither positive or negative, a nice 0 slope. And the last example, if you're in this car driving straight down, would this be positive, negative, undefined, or 0 slope? This would be a disastrous slope. This would be undefined, driving straight down or even trying to drive straight up. This would be disastrous. This would be undefined slope. So when you're trying to figure out which type of slope it is, just picture a car, or you could picture a little skier going uphill or downhill skiing, or you're going on a hike climbing up a mountain or down a mountain, thinking about what type of a hike you would have. It helps to think of that to classify slope.